If you have ever looked at your planner, your meal prep containers, your 5 a.m. alarms that you keep setting, and thought to yourself, why can't I just do this? I need you to stop right there, because you, my friends, are asking the wrong question. The question isn't why can't you stick to a plan? The question is, why are you trying to overhaul your entire life when you are literally running on fumes? You don't have a discipline problem. You are a winner stuck in loser patterns. And somewhere along this journey, you forgot something about yourself. There is an exchange in Mission Impossible Fallout, my favorite of this series, where Ethan Hunt is about to receive his next mission. And the messenger challenges him by saying, "Fate whispers to the warrior, you cannot withstand the storm." And Ethan's response, the confirmation to prove it's really him, "I am the storm." And that's what you forgot. You are not trying to withstand the chaos of your life until it passes. You are the force in nature. You are the source of the change that you have been waiting to arrive. And in today's video, I'm going to show you how to remember who you are and how to access that force within you when your life is chaotic, just 15 minutes at a time, until you stop asking, when will things calm down? And start reminding your circumstances that they need to be worried about you. So if you haven't already, make sure to subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, because I promise you, you don't want to miss when I post the next video. Here's the truth. You're not struggling because you lack discipline. You are struggling because you are trapped and have been trapped in patterns that make you feel like you're failing when you're probably just exhausted. And for whatever reason, we keep setting ourselves up this way, right? With this big overhaul that we decide on Sunday or Monday that it's time to finally change our lives, only to collapse on Wednesday, feel guilty by Friday, and then rinse and repeat this cycle until we just think it's not worth the effort, right? And the whole time, if you're anything like me, you're just sitting there asking yourself, what's wrong with me? Because what we do is we try to fit who we wish we were into the reality of our circumstances when life is actually happening, and we just disregard all of that, right? Trying to force yourself into routines designed for people who don't have your life responsibilities, your chaos, your reality. So of course you can't sustain it. And it's not because you're weak, it's because you're trying to build a new identity on top of one that's already demanding so much from you. But you're not the problem. The pattern is the problem. And when you are waiting for perfect and ideal conditions to do anything that matters that will get you out of this situation, or waiting for a completely empty schedule or a full hour to finally take the right, most aligned action, or waiting to finally feel good or motivated before you do anything, you are giving away all of your power to your circumstances. Your schedule decides. Your energy decides. Your kids' moods for that day decides. Your demanding clients, they decide. The weather decides. And that, my friend, is not leading your life. That's reacting to your life. And that is a loser pattern. I want to tell you about how I came to find that force that I'm talking about in my own survival season. I have 4 young kids between the ages of 4 and 12. My mom was struggling with her health, but she hadn't died yet. And I was managing her condition, her logistics, my kids' logistics, client schedules, client calls. I'm still married, exhaustion, caregiver burnout, which I understand to be a thing now. And I was managing all of this at once. And I just kept waiting because it never felt like the right time to change or do anything, especially anything related to prioritizing myself. Like I kept telling myself, when my schedule calmed down, I'll start working out again. When I have more time, I'll focus on the version of my business that I dream of, not the one that I have to sustain right now. When I'm not so tired, maybe I'll deal with the ongoing issues. But things never calmed down. In fact, they escalated. And I realized that I was treating my life as if it was something that was happening to me instead of something I was creating. And one random day that I was incredibly sick of myself, I decided to set a timer for 15 minutes on my stove. And I used it to disrupt every pattern that was making me feel like a victim of my circumstances. I set 15 minutes to clean, 15 minutes to do a workout, 15 minutes to think about how to manage the logistics of my mom, my clients, and my kids in the last year since my mom has died, 15 minutes to grieve instead of running from how I feel. And here's what I've learned about myself over the last few years. When things get hard emotionally or mentally, I lean into physically hard things. That's my go-to, because physical challenges give me the fastest wins, and they remind me who I am, and that who I am is no one's loser. But you don't have to start with physical challenges. You just have to decide to start disrupting the patterns that make you feel powerless. I'll tell you, the shift that really changes everything is learning to not just plan for your time, it's to plan for your energy. Because traditional productivity advice, goal setting advice, really disregards that you as an ambitious parent, a solopreneur parent, someone who is caregiving, maybe in a sandwich generation like I was because my mom's passed. It assumes that your energy is consistent and that your schedule is your own. And when you're in the midst of managing all of that chaos, neither of those are true. And this is why I want you to stop waiting for an hour to change something or start something or do something different for yourself. And instead aim for 15 minutes, because I'm certain you have 15 minutes in your schedule. You probably paused in some capacity to watch this video because you have 15 minutes in your schedule. And it's not because 15 minutes is optimal. It's not enough time, but it is enough to remind yourself that you are still in control of your life. Think of it this way. There is a gap between where you are and where you want to be. And you, my friends, have been trying to leap across that gap with one giant jump, with those massive, I'll start Sunday, Monday, January 1st overhauls, right? And that's why you keep failing. That's why these overhauls don't work for most people. You need a bridge. And you build that bridge doing new behaviors while still actively living in your current reality. You don't get to wait until your life is perfectly organized. That's its own trap, right? You don't get to wait until you feel ready, because chances are you're not even really ready for what you think is coming. You have to do the new thing while everything around you is still chaotic. That's uncomfortable. It sucks. And you probably don't want to hear that, because you are trying to become someone new while everyone around you still needs you to be who you've always been. But 15 minutes is enough for you to start building. 15 minutes where you choose the new pattern instead of defaulting to the old one, where you prove to yourself that your circumstances don't have the final say. Because here's what you're actually doing with 15 minutes. You're disrupting the patterns that are keeping you powerless. Because every time you wait for more time, ideal conditions, better weather, feeling in a better mood, you're protecting and reinforcing the pattern of never starting. And every time you say, I'll just start Monday or January 1st, you're protecting the pattern of staying exactly where you are. But when you set a 15-minute timer and do it anyway, you are taking your power back. You're not working out for 15 minutes because it's gonna magically make you drop 20 pounds and give you abs. You're doing it because you're disrupting the pattern of waiting on perfect conditions to prioritize yourself. You're not creating content for 15 minutes because that's gonna solve your income problems, right? You're doing it because it's disrupting the pattern of letting your circumstances determine your choices. But here's what I need you to understand. You are not a victim of chaos, and 15 minutes at a time is going to help you to remember who you are and help you win again. And if today's video resonated with you, and I hope it did, leave a comment below and tell me what stood out most. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, make sure to do so and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss when I post the next video. Thank you so much for watching.